Hey, my name is Julien Wells, and I'm here with Elena and Dawn. Welcome, guys. I
Thanks, Julian.
I got
Thanks.
the idea to just make a real quick recording. I don't know what will come, in terms of what people will be attracted to, but it started off with Elena sharing with me that she thinks that we could be seeing alien ships of some level this September, and I went into sort of like how did I feel on that, and what was I expecting, and is my reality in alignment with what she's telling me. And I said, yeah, actually, there's something about this September that's that literal in the UFO world. So I said, I'd like to talk with you, Elena, because let's hash this out. What am I going to see? It's another way of saying it. Because I'm close to it, but I don't see it maybe as sensitively as you are. I'm sensitive, but not sensitive on everything, if that makes sense. So so what were you can you elaborate a little bit more on the September?
Sure. I've been channeling and also in contact with a being called Anea. She's 10th dimensional. She's from the Akashan starship, the L race. And she was telling me that come September, there's going to be huge disclosure about extraterrestrials existing, about all of this advanced technology coming out. It's a huge quantum leap, evolutionary shift for this planet Earth and for the surrounding solar system that we're in. So she said that's coming. That's part of the disclosure, full disclosure movement.
So does that
that's
happen
coming.
all in September, or is that the beginning of what that becomes?
Well, it's going to be some kind of a huge disclosure will happen in September, the beginning of it. Some huge data dump,
But
or
it's not
somebody
like
will.
it's not like 24 hours later we're all on ships being taught advanced technology and healing our bodies. Not that kind
No,
of
it's
disclosure.
no. It's a slower start.
Okay.
That it's
Just
a
wondering how
slower
far it
start.
goes.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you may be on a ship being taught advanced
No, I know
technology.
I'm good. I'm good. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Okay.
I'm already on starships being taught this and that and back and forth. It's
Mhm.
already in my reality. But certain people, certain light warriors, certain light healers, psychics will start to meet ETs in physical contact.
Mhm.
That's what Anea is saying, and that's a huge possibility for many of us because we're going into this quantum leap. We're going right into the middle of the photon belt. And scientists discovered this thing long time ago, 1975. So our planet is going right in the middle of this thing. And it's a huge energy field, literally, that it's a quantum leap in evolution for humanity. And ETs are all here watching this happening. And they're interacting with many of us already. But the L race specifically wants to come down to the planet and start making human ET contact with people. Hey, if you allow me, I'm going to lend my scout ship in your backyard, get to meet you, get to talk to you, give you some galactic history. Do you give us permission to do this? That sort of thing. That's what they've been telling me. It's not going to be everybody, but it's going to be certain people who are awakened and, into this stuff already, in it.
Or a bit psychic.
Or a bit psychic, exactly. So that's what she's been telling me. And she says it doesn't matter who's elected, whether it's Hillary Clinton, whether it's Bernie Sanders, whether it's Donald Trump. This quantum leap is in progress, so it's going to make huge changes economically, politically. It doesn't matter who's elected in November. This thing is going to go on to evolve the planet and the people and the solar system. It's going to make huge changes to get us ready to be a galactic civilization. 2016 September is the kickoff point for this process to be happening, and we're ready. Traveling in the photon belt, we're beginning to feel this stuff and see it. I mean, hey, Bernie Sanders is running for president. Hillary Clinton is talking about UFOs and getting to the bottom of that in Area 51. Donald Trump is saying what he's saying. So weird things are happening already.
Yeah. So my question is, at the onset, when we talk about being able to interact with the ETs starting in September, those who are sensitive or have some directional thought in this way. Are we talking about what I've seen where we get holographic projections from them? That level of direct interaction, because that's fairly common. Or are we going to get the physical body ones, where we can, bump fists, high five, and that sort of thing? Do you happen to know if it's going to be one of those two levels?
It's for certain people, it's going to be bump fist, high five in person, meet each other, physically greet each other, meet each other. It's going to be the humanoid type ETs who come in. So they might have different skin color and hair color, but they're going to look humanoid, not to scare the general populace. You can tell right away they're different because their skin color is different. Their hair is very different. Their height is 10 feet and taller. So you can tell the difference between the physical aspects of who you're meeting. But they're going to be humanoid. You're not going to see ETs that are like 30, 40 feet tall or look like cats or, somebody animalistic or something. You're going to meet the humanoid ETs first.
Things that might have once been born on this planet.
Yes. And some of the Ls are Palladian hybrids mixed with L and Andromedan and Arcturian. So a lot of them are humanoid looking. So they're going to be coming down first to introduce themselves for us that are psychically developed and attuned to what's going on. The ones that are just awakening are mostly going to get the holographic contact started, initiated, like what the Agartha network is doing, talking to a lot of us that are awakening on the surface of the planet, telepathically and holographically, even taking people down to Agartha and teaching them. So it's a mixture of both.
I'm being reminded, okay, if you are getting a holographic, okay, this is kind of information coming from that point. If you are getting a holographic and you're not sure, you can ask it to make it more fake. Because sometimes it's so real you feel like you can touch it and your mind kind of goes through a spin of reality check. If you can't touch it and it's there, then your mind will actually spike it as like a monster. It's like, oh my god, there's something there and I can't touch it. So what you should do is, if it seems too real and you're like, before judging it and before touching it, when you think it's an illusion of some form, ask it to prove that it's only an illusion. Basically say illusion or not illusion. Like literally declare that, because some people will have an anxiety attack when they have a being there and they have no idea, and usually that anxiety attack, what it does is it knocks you out, you just fall asleep, you're like, and then you faint, So to prevent this, to prevent fainting at the onset of people getting even the holographic experiences, say illusion or not illusion. And what can happen is that the reality can turn into something like from the old Star Wars movies, like it's just like a blue, like it looks a lot faker and cheaper. They're like, oh, the resolution on our screens are set too high. Let's just lower it down a couple octaves in quality. And then that's something you'd be like, oh, okay, good. There's something there, it's not touchable. It can't hurt me, that sort of thing. Okay? So you say illusion or not illusion. And then the funny thing is they know from how you say it. You say illusion or not illusion. Illusion, you have a vibrational frequency going in your mind as to what is the most illusion-like thing I can imagine, my definition of illusion, and non-illusion, which means what I consider absolutely real. So they basically, they measure your brainwave right at that point for which, what's the highest and what's the lowest, and then they adjust for you. So they adjust the frequency of the projection. It's like adjusting the television set type thing. Anyway, a little bit further than I thought we would go with that, but that's how it works.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. And some of these ETs have the ability to shapeshift between humanoid and what they really look like, not to scare people. So it's a somewhat humanoid appearance that they physically meet you in.
But they could be like a blob.
Yeah, they could be like a blob and take on human form, so you're comfortable with what you're seeing. You're not scared and you don't have your panic attack and faint. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
humans or psychics or psionics are making contact right now with ETs.
Mhm.
It's an ongoing process. It's been going on for millennium as ETs visit us constantly. They're all cloaked. We don't see them, but the telepathic communication is always there.
Mm-hmm.
In and out every day for me. It's
Mhm.
like telepathically, oh, hi, I'm here and here to give you this info and this info, give you all the clues and pieces for all your
Mhm.
presentations and website information to disclose. My basic mission right now is to disclose as much as I can from different benevolent ET sources and from what I myself see out in space in my light body or astral travel or remote viewing. There's so many
Mhm.
ways of seeing stuff, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite an experience, and it's a daily occurrence, whether I'm asleep, awake. It's like, oh, okay, well, gotta go there, gotta see this, gotta record that, gotta
Yeah.
make it public. As simple as that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She's basically like the lady who has a telescope into outer space, and she's on
Uh-huh.
like this little, you know, planetarium up in the mountain. That's kind of like her vibrations, like, oh, what's going on here? And you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. I'm gonna share it. Like, oh, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'll share. That's kind of how I see Elena. She's like
Ye-
that kind of predictor. That kind of, you know, she's very on. Like she's
Right.
she should be doing like a daily news show on what's going on because she's that on in the moment. Other people are just like, you know, here at third mention down the food line of
Right.
like exactly how it happened. She's the one who's like seeing this like firsthand, like this is not a story. This is where it originated. So
yeah.
so I listen to when Lena talks about stuff. I really
Sure.
It's like live in action. Today I saw Ashtar again. Haven't spoken to him in 15 years. I did some work for them. I was a communications officer in 2000 to 2010 with Ashtar Command, Ashtar and Athena. And today he showed up and just said, hey, you know, we're working right now on monitoring your barriers, your protective barriers around Earth, around the solar system, to make sure the bad guys stay out and the ones that can come in and go out can do that. And the barriers are still there, and sometimes they're lowered so, you know, species can come in and go out, and also the SSP ships back and forth. But they monitor who does what to make sure rogues don't come in, and they're working around Saturn and Jupiter to make sure the Ganymede portal is protected, and the Super Confederation space station that's orbiting around Jupiter is also protected because that's where the trade negotiations happen. So these guys, Ashtar Command is working more with the secret space programs at this time. They were more hands-off in 2000 to 2010. They were working more with Solar Warden on protection, but now they're working more closely with the SSBs and other Confederation ET groups. So that's what Ashtar said. And he said, hey, don't call me Ash. I don't like that nickname. I never did when you called me that in 2000. Don't call me Ash. I'm Ashtar. Call me Ashtar.
That's awesome. And then I think I asked you the question, does he know anything about the video game Pokemon? Because the main character's name is Ash, and he's a phenom in Japan, and any little kid who plays the Pokemons. So
Oh, yeah.
Ash,
Audrey watches that.
they may start teasing him when they come across the real Ashtar. They're gonna be like, no, we're gonna call you Ash just because Ash is cooler or something, and you're like, stop calling me Ash. I could just see it, you know?
Yeah, Ash is a short kid with black spiky hair. Ashtar is a big guy who's around 8 feet tall, muscular, with blonde, long hair and these piercing blue eyes.
Yeah.
Big difference, and he has his counterpart, Athena, female counterpart. So it's quite interesting. These guys are half Pleiadian, they're a mix of everything in Ashtar Command, humanoid-looking, some are not. They have their light cities where you can do intermediary work, you know, help out other species. So it's quite interesting.
Wow. So, are you going to be still around in September to talk to us again, or can we expect some continued communication on how things are going? Should we not be fully invested in the experience like you are. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Have
that
you- have you got
you'll
a
let
back-
those without a telescope know how things are going.
Well, I don't know yet. I'm in talks with Anaya and the Akashan. It depends. I might get a human representative who represents me and I go off. We're in talks. They said it's a destiny. 13,000 years have passed. You're locked in a timeline to go back home into the future. We're coming to get you. You're going home. So that's what they said. And I'm like, wait a sec, but I want my family, my parents and my cat to come with me. And they said, okay, if they come, they're going to be much bigger. Genetic recoding will happen. You'll be genetically recoded to your original Andromedan Pleiadian blueprint, which is 12-foot tall lady who is blue skin and blonde blue hair, basically, with piercing blue eyes. That's what I really look like as my ET Star Traveler self. And that's what I would be, you know, reverting back to on the Akashan, because I wouldn't keep my 3D body. I evolved back into my original genetic ET blueprint
Over the,
of the Star
process
Traveler.
of a couple days or something like that.
Yes,
Not like
yes.
over years, but like maybe very, very
No.
short span of time.
Yeah,
And then
because,
but your parents would require the recoding to join you because they wouldn't be able to survive your environment without being like you. So
Yes.
they would you'd be actually asking them to become like bit by a werewolf or a vampire, so to speak.
yes,
just to tease the idea, you know.
Yeah.
And they have a choice, I'm sure, at the last moment, right? You're like,
Yeah.
we're taking off. You want to be
Yeah,
bit
well-
or you want to stay here?
Well, I've told them already. I haven't told them about the
Oh, no?
bitten part, but
Okay.
Dad is an electrical engineer. You give him technology, he'll play with it. He'll make a lot of somethings. Mom likes jewelry. Cat just wants to be outside, and she could do that on the Akashan because there's a lot of beautiful gardens and open spaces for animals to just wander about, you know,
Yeah.
and not get fleas, not get run over by a car. There's no such thing on the Akashan. So the cat would love it. The parents, not so much. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Like right now and I still want to report on what's going on. I still want to do disclosure. So I have mixed feelings. I want to go back. I do. I love the higher dimensions.
Do you have an idea of where your parents originally came from also? The like what they'd be leaving that opportunity in order to
like what would your parents do if they stayed here in terms of finding their
Stay here
you know,
or-
star
yes, exactly.
race sort of thing?
They're open to the possibility of aliens, UFOs, ETs, but they're kind of like they want to see it to believe it. They're that type of people.
But
I need
will
to
they go
see
into
it.
shock when they see it, or will they'd be able to be good in 24 hours or something?
They'd be good in 24 hours because they're already shocked by what I say and what I do.
Oh,
My
so
dad calls me
you've
alien.
done the warning shot already.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
yes. My
I
dad
told you. This is exactly what I said. You heard it.
Yeah, my parents fully believe that I'm extraterrestrial because my diet has changed, my vision has changed, everything has changed. I'm not the same person I was 5-7 years ago. I have a different diet. I'm very organic food minded. I can't stand or tolerate GMOs in my body. My eyes are going dark. When I'm in bright lights, I can't even look at the lights anymore. I have to wear dark sunglasses. So I'm genetically already being prepared for this quantum leap and energy shift, this event that's coming.
Yeah.
So my ET DNA is already kicking in.
Oh,
I
yeah.
still look human, but I'm not exactly. I'm becoming the
Right.
hybrid that I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So
You know, remember, Julien, when we talked the other night, they were telling us that all of these changes were coming, and that pretty much I think they said that they had to be completed by the end of September. Wasn't that the time frame that they gave as far as the initial part of disclosure and we're going through with June and July and that sort of thing?
Correct.
Yes.
We're actually going through some very heated changes. First in our personal lives, and each of the progresses we make in our personal lives will show up like in the political world. So you sort of like deal with your inner demons when you have, you know, a demon show up, and it will then reflect into the outer reality, and it'll become like a political change too. So as you go through your pains, it may have nothing to do with political ideas in your life, you see. Like you may just be
Right.
having a fight with your boyfriend or girlfriend, But that goes out. It goes out. It's like you send a message, and then the government goes that way, and community changes that way. And so if you haven't already noticed, every sort of like major like insight of like bump of awareness that each one of us takes, the other world goes through like a bump in the next, weeks or months. Every single time.
And we're talking about this on the day that Orlando took place. And how people are going to be reacting to that scenario, and that event is going to change how we as a community move now also, and the politics behind it.
I mean, the lesbian bi gay thing is massive. It is a massive, massive vibration that is not respected by so much in the country. Like, it is such a pure, amazing truth within it.
Mm-hmm.
Within it. Because no one is truly all masculine and no one is truly all feminine. And these people basically say, look, this is what it is when you're more masculine and you're more feminine. This is how it matters, and we already live it. Basically, that community knows how to live in a different society. They know how to build their communities, and they know how to stick together, and they know how to treat each other as advanced human beings. Like, you already drop a great deal of judgment when it comes to sexuality is an open book, right? So they already know how, and they've been trying to show us. So what's happening right now? This event, severe violence against them, even if you are, anti-gay, or lesbian or bi, you now have some reason to be in their court, because as people, you begin to take a closer look at them. As people, you start to get a little bit more empathy for them for once. It's like they have to throw themselves on their sword to get your good graces almost. And vibrationally attracted. It's a terrible thing to be such isolated, but it sends a very specific message. It really does. And I don't know how it can come to be besides just the vibration of saying gay, lesbian, bis want to send a message that look at us. We die and live and breathe just like you. So of course, this is a massive shockwave that happened.
Yeah, I mean, we're all humans, and we all have the same human rights. Doesn't matter if you're bisexual, if you're gay, if you're a lesbian, if you're a transsexual, or...
And the next step is if you're
asexual.
Hybrid.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I happen to be bisexual, and to me, I have the same human rights as everybody else, and I believe that transsexuals can go into any washroom that they choose to go in, by what they look like, by the gender that they choose. I mean, even Obama passed a law 2 weeks ago saying transsexuals can go into the bathroom of their choice according to the gender that they associate with. Doesn't matter if you look like a female and have male genitals, you can go into the female washroom because you associate as a female, even though you haven't completely had the gender reassignment.
Right.
You might have had the top surgery.
You're not about
female.
The intention is there that you're not going to back off. That's the point.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the intention is you're going to complete the process, not that you're going to back off. There's more people succeed with the procedure than fail with the procedure. So that's the assumptions. Yes.
Or if you even keep it like you've done your top female and your bottom is male, even if you keep that, you still have the right to go to the female bathroom because you associate as female, even though you have male genitals. There are transsexuals who do that. And just like there are transsexuals who are men on the top, but still have female genitals. And they might want to go into the female bathroom. And they have every right to do that, according to Obama's new law that he passed. Of course, the schools are up in arms. Oh, my God, how could this happen? We're going to sue the Obama administration for this.
Well, the schools in particular, because their imagines get blown by the idea that children of any age and type can say, I can go into the girls' bathroom now, or I can go into the boys' bathroom, because you know what, right now I feel like I associate with being female or male. Of course the schools are going to flip out. Their imaginations are up there, and they're ready to see that start happening because the children have the imaginations. The children inspire them to have the imagination, so of course they're freaking out at the high probability of that occurring. That's all. So
Yeah,
I love that so much.
I love it too, and kudos for Obama for passing the law. Let's get people talking about this, and let's everybody go to the bathroom they want to go to.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and I think the early thing about today though that showed up is that for 3 decades or so, gay men who have sex with other men have not been allowed to donate blood, and then all of a sudden, yes, the FDA recently changed the rules on that, not fully accepting it, but for example, I was just reading that the Orlando blood bank had not changed and was doing the old rules, and now I'm seeing pictures of people lined up to donate blood because of this emergency situation, and they have changed the rules at Orlando Blood Bank in that there's also been a report. Bernie Sanders actually reported that everybody will be allowed to give blood and it'll be accepted from everyone. So you're already seeing a shift from the old paradigm into something new just through this event in something that seems so obvious to most people. And I think most people just weren't aware that it was still on the books, and it really is showing itself now.
Yeah. I even want to say the event that happened in Orlando, Florida last night. I think it was last night, right?
Yeah.
2 a.m. today.
Yeah.
That is whatever you've got to make it to see the bigger picture. It can be a conspiracy, okay? It can be a psyop. It can be, lesbian, gay right, activist, totally against them. You could see it as, ISIS if you want, or whatever. Or you could see it in perhaps another way where the energy was ripe for lesbian, gay, bi to be put on the map of saying we're just as human as and deserving of everything that you do. Almost like there's nigh room for discrimination across the entire country at that point. The energy may have manifested in such a terrible way, which sometimes happens from a vibration of despotism. Are there, are there people in those communities that are desperate? Oh, yes. And so the vibration of harm against themselves is kind of like how they're stabbing themselves to get the message out to you. Look, I still bleed. I am in every way equal.
So then the question that I have is considering that we're still doing this to humans, to ourselves, what is going to change in this short span of time that's going to convince extraterrestrials that it's safe to start the contact? That if we're talking about this in September, I mean, you're going to point to June and say, look at what happened in June.
Right, and I'm going to tell you only from my point of view, which is discussion with the Pleiadians. Okay? Pleiadianship I'm very in tune with. It's not that, and I'm sure Elena's the same way. If you want to go talk to another ship, you just go introduce yourself, and you can go talk to anything around here. Just because I say Pleiadian doesn't mean that I'm limited. It's the same ability. If you get these abilities, you can talk with anybody you want to, assuming they open the hatch and let you in. Otherwise, what they'll do is they'll screech at you and make it really, really difficult to see and even look at anything. I've tried. Yeah, get out of here! Okay, I'm not gonna see what's all going on in that ship. Forget that.
Well, I have carte blanche. I can go on any ship I want and get any info I want. I'm supposed to disclose.
You're much more mature on the subject than I am, then, perhaps. I probably trust you a whole lot better than me.
I think it's the star ET connections, because I was always the star traveler, billions of races. Every day is different something you meet for me. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's coming full cycle back to that again, re-meeting old friends, ETs. Getting a perspective of what's going on the planet, measuring timelines. What are we heading into here? What are we experiencing? Give me a hint here so I could tell others about it. It's basically what I do. It's like let's get this started. Let's get the party started. There's a
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom party in my room.
Yeah.
Let's keep that momentum going. Let's
Yes.
have the discussions.
Oh,
Basically
yeah.
what the
And,
ETs are doing.
Right.
And I don't know if you're familiar. I declared this 2 of my shows ago that that this month I basically have a resolution from New Year to New Moon to New Moon, and that was I'm going to see disclosure happen at least a little bit every single day of this month, climaxing more and more towards the full moon. Great, amazing, progressive, big public news. And then basically simmering down. So we aren't even at the full moon yet. So this information right here, shared on, as close to today as the recording is taking place. This is not even the new moon yet, the full moon yet, guys. So we're still opening up the channels here of the possibilities, and just exactly what we have to be excited about. And I pointed out this month many of us who are into disclosure, people like me and Elena are going to be on top of it for you. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
My resolution, full data dump, full disclosure on the public by September. Bam, hit. Let's do it all at once. Let's get the people talking. Let's get a reaction. That's the energy I've been putting out. Like full disclosure, not drip drip. Like bam, just hit us with it. Yeah, we'll be a little bit shocked, but most people already know the truth.
No more than a game of paintball. No more than that.
No. Well,
yes,
I mean,
it hurts. Yes, I got a bruise. Yes, I'm covered in blue ink or whatever, and that sucks for a bit. But you come out a little bit tougher and say, okay, I can take a couple strong truths, at a time now,
But everybody woke up this morning and heard about Orlando.
Yeah.
And they were shocked.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start seeing how people react. It's people standing in line to donate blood. That's how they're dealing with that shock. So everybody's going to have a different reaction to it. It doesn't mean that just because this data is all dumped or these disclosures are made that people are going to panic. There's going to be a relief too, and with so many aspects of what can be disclosed and what will be disclosed. Right. Not just the ET stuff. I mean, it's
tangentially related.
Yeah.
It is related, and energetically wise in terms of preparation. This idea of like lesbian, gay, bi thing, let's just flush that down the toilet. We just call people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no straight. We don't even use the terminology. What are you talking about? Straight? You mean like is my nose narrow? No, I don't. What do you mean? It's a non-issue. Put that to bed, right? People are like omnivores. That'll happen too. Put that to bed, okay? You're omnivore that doesn't eat meat. You're still called an omnivore. It's all people. Just you eat. You don't need to label that you're separate. You just pick up off the plate what you're going to eat and what you don't. It's the end of it, right?
And not be judged for what you
pick to eat. It's just like saying,
place.
hey, I'm going to eat meat only once a month. Great. Perfect. Only when they serve lamb. That's the only kind you'll eat. It doesn't matter. But there's no subjugation. There's no divisions. These major divisions are happening now. Okay? They're happening now because we can't survive with those nuances in a higher society. Because oh my God, the range of prejudices that you will find is off the charts. It's off the charts.
Well, but it's also a big part of it is in order to claim your sovereignty, you've got to know that you're different from everybody else.
And that's a good thing. And also that you think it's a good thing. If you think it's a good thing, then you benefit and you will keep it.
Right. So all these ways we can group ourselves or define ourselves in different ways, you've got to move around in order to find out who you actually really are and claim that sovereignty.
You gotta explore things. It's almost like sometimes we've been afraid to try things because that's just how society would treat us. Sometimes we gotta try something.
That way. Yeah.
I'm not saying if you're a girl, go kiss the next girl like tomorrow, but I mean like try things or maybe. But try things and see if it stirs up great depths within you, like this. Oh my God, how did I never try this? I was afraid of it, and finding out I am absolutely more open in this way. Okay, like like that's kind of what this morning this thing did, is it blew open this thing that people, there may be a much higher percentage of people not straight, you know, or even just straight gay, like lots of in-betweens, and it's just going to sort of like percolate the world with basically, if everybody's exploring the idea, it's not a taboo anymore.
Right.
And people open up all sorts of chakras just being able to express at higher levels of connection with people, you know?
And I can easily say and comfortably on air, I'm not straight, I'm bi.
Right.
There you go. That's my truth. I'm not hiding who I am, never will.
Everybody knows who I am. The largest number of people and make no dissociation with them. All equal because you've seen both ends of the spectrum.
Right.
I don't care. To me, each person is a person. I don't care if you're straight, bi, gay, or something else completely out of this world. I respect you for the person you are and for what decisions you make in your life. That's basically it. Don't matter the skin color, the race, whatever, you're people. So let's move into that galactic society where we are accepting of each other and not judging, not fighting. Oh my God, I'm jealous of you for this, for that. But hey, we're all equal in what we can accomplish. So let's put aside those differences and work together for the greater good of what we're working towards in reality, which is the truth, justice, peace, happiness, love, and following our passion, our greatest enjoyment and passion in life.
And when you add all those up together, the terms of all of that, it's basically what I call the word balance. Like this balance of everything I like, basically. And I have just enough what I don't like in order to sort of feel like I deserve everything that I like. And then you get over where you realize you just create it all, and then your deserve, personal value, sense of self goes through the roof, and you're like a god that can manifest out of thin air.
Exactly. Know? But going back to your Pleiadian stuff, let's talk about your Pleiadian, what you do on the ship and the Pleiadian stuff that you're experiencing.
So this conversation was incoming, and so they've kept back the excitement. They've what they call held back the the closet full of puppies that are going to come out and lick you to death. There's this thing that happens where they say, okay, we know you've got a good time to talk about something, so we're going to wait and before they're going to say anything. So I don't even know entirely what they're going to say, but I'll listen to them now and see what they do have to say. So the first thing is they like my reference to the puppies, but they got something that's a bit more like tribbles. They figured the human population would like tribbles more than puppies, right? So
super.
So as it turns out, they have a large colony of tribbles that are growing. Some genetic funny toy thing that's like a Furby. Anyways, they're saying, Elena basically called their bluff here on this idea that there is a great deal of movement, and that there is a great deal of, we're kind of making September, October, November, December a big celebration of hand-to-hand, handshake level experiences. And they have a really good idea of what they want to do going forward with that. Part of the reason why they don't really come to me and just tell me this stuff right off the bat is because I'm not excited to be an ambassador of sharing the information. And simply by me knowing that it's occurring, I could just say it's just occurring, guys. Just go with it. You'll like it. Like, don't worry what happens. You'll like it. I promise you. I've seen it. I just don't care to tell everybody that I've seen it and what it's going to be like, So It's like, so what I'm seeing, for the sake of what it looks like, is an experience where there are some starseeds or half Pleiadian breed type people that are automatically basically right on the Pleiadian wavelength of, like, they already live like them, right? They already are just like Pleiadian in all shapes and form, or closest to Pleiadian culture, right? They're gonna go to these people that are the real Pleiadians amongst the humans here, and they will say, You know, here we are. Here's your family. We're just like you. You know, we have everything in common, and you would love us because we can talk the same talk. We can speak the same thoughts, right? And they would meet them. The people who are basically Pleiadian if you ran into them today, okay?
Right.
And then it goes out from there. The people who are slightly less like that, slightly less like that, slightly less like that. Pleiadians only want like the best possible friends they could meet always. They got a schoolyard of 100 kids. They go straight to their favorites every single time. You take those. Okay, let's get rid of him. Let's get rid of him. No, they'll still keep. They know exactly what their next best favorite is. They are excitement bunnies on a cosmic highway to groovy experiences. I don't know how else to explain it. They're space hippies. But there's a lot of really high-dimensional Pleiadians as well. Those are like the more 3D Pleiadians. They're the ones that get around. They bunny hop different planets and stuff. But they're the most chillax and they're most hippie of Pleiadians because they don't even care that they're Pleiadians at all, almost. At all. They don't care to, not eat meat. They're like, yeah, we'll eat meat. Hallelujah, And those are the ones that show up early. And it's ironic when I say that because the peoples that are like Pleiadians are like the hippies that are still alive from the 60s and 70s. So when I say, but I'm not a hippie like that, I'm probably not on the very first list of people to meet. So they are. the older, my parents' generation, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to get to see the Pleiadians first. So now I'm like, how do I figure that out? Now I got to get myself into that kind of community. Right? Like, you're not a real hippie. If you haven't been wearing tie-dye for 3 years straight, you're not hippie enough, or something. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So it starts there, ironically, with the Pleiadians, but it's not just the Pleiadians being told. Andromedans are going to do this, Arcturians, even Orions. You think Orions are all bad? They're not all bad. There's even some reptilian. For those who are ready for the actual look of a real reptilian and not faint from it, they probably got the reptilian boldness in them, to stand up to that. Yeah, so it's okay. And they're only going to be the good ones. Only the best of the best are basically here for this time. Because if they're not here as the best of the best and the happiest of the happiest, then they're not much of a cheerleader for us. We're not getting the gym teacher that boots you up the ass to come get us into gear. We're not. Mm-hmm. We're getting the really nice ones, okay? No one's going to, challenge you to a battle of Bethleth or something, in your spare time in the afternoon. It's all supportive of our transition. Yes. And
they're not here to save us. They're just here to guide us and teach us. We have to make this transition ourselves and accept these changes, and open up our mind to a new paradigm of shifts of reality.
Yeah. It's more like, from what I see it, from what I'm being seen, is that the humanity will get holographic projections in the sky above cities. And that will be, they'll project like their own television show that you'll get stuff from. Right? And it'll be like their own little television show, and you can look up or you look down. They'll clear the sky or whatever, or they'll put it below the cloud level so that everybody can see it and everybody can hear it in their head, but they could just decide to quiet it out. I think it'll be telepathic. I don't think it'll be audio. I think it'll be telepathic. But anyhow, that will be projected around the world. Regular television will project those things as it occurs, and they'll just be telling messages to various communities. You have got to shape up this subject. You guys have got too much garbage. Everybody should just start cleaning up the garbage, for Christ's sake. We think, based on all our calculations, this is the best move for you right now. It's gonna make you all healthier real fast. You're gonna breathe the air better. You're all gonna really enjoy each other's company more. That's how you're gonna get ascended. And when we're talking ascended, it means we think you're too unhealthy to basically be on these ships. You're too unhealthy. Mm-hmm. We don't know. Our ships are in danger of some kind of level of chaos that you might bring to it. The equilibrium could be so thrown off that the ship won't even be able to fly, right? So we can't let on people who sort of like sink our ships. And these are the people with the most sunken, low vibrations that they carry with them. They're anchors. And we're meant to float and be free as well. Quite literally. We don't need our troubles, really. And we spend, we don't know how to remove our troubles. I know that. I'm not saying it just happens. But, for instance, if you're looking at the government, you're looking at the finance system, and you say, man, they really screwed up my life. I screwed up my life. Well, until you start finding some way of why you need to wake up from your life being screwed up by money, like maybe money isn't the answer to everything. That's why you got money screwed up issues. Like, that's the point. Until you figure out how to let go of all like these really crummy feelings by sort of like saying, actually, this is a good thing. Almost like taking all your greatest pains and saying, this is a good thing somehow. And you transmute and you raise your vibration, and then you're a much more dynamic being. High vibration gives you lots and lots of choices. If you choose to embody a physical body and have a high vibration, that means you're thinking of everything at once. Like everything. So what you do is you slow down time so you can get anything done. So time speed goes a little differently when you're Pleiadian too. But it is just one of them. Some people, they want to join those community of Arcturians that still love shotguns and rifles and stuff. Have you heard about them? The cowboy ones? It's totally crazy. They got like, oh yeah, we're ready for everybody's into guns and stuff. I'm like, whoa, crazy people.
Super.
Yeah, like projectile, not lasers and stuff. Like shrapnel, and then they heal you up, and it's all like a big fancy game. It's like Wild West in like a stadium that like flies through space. People come by and watch this Wild West sort of show of the reality of life. It's really perturbed and weird, but it's like totally like a space sci-fi shoot 'em up, cowboy and Indians kind of thing. Yeah.
Wow. Then you put them in the Meditech unit and heals you, and you're all good and can go back to playing.
Yep. Or you could tough it out and just say, I don't care, just put a bandage, no healing, and then just run back out there. It's like a game of World of Warcraft. It's crazy. It's like this weird, like, go out and battle for fun. Like literally, go live Conan the Barbarian Age or something.
Yeah, the Klingons.
And it's like, or it's very much like, and it changes. It's like, what's that movie there? The Hunger Games, right? It's like an arena. Like, oh, we're all bored with this arena. Let's make a new one. And so they make a new arena. They stop fighting or whatever. They're all, they have love making and all those sorts of things. And they're like, okay, new arena. Everybody jump in when it's time. It's like last one in is like a rotten egg, like jumping in the pool. And they all just beat each other up so much, like totally hurt each other, and like, survival, and there's like jungle and stuff like that. Sometimes the arena's like a jungle, and there's like crazy insects they make that scare them around. It's just games. Just games. They're like, this is like a video game ship. This is bizarre. But anyone who's in alignment, they aren't here right now. They're coming in like a comet. They're gonna show up, and you're like, if you're into that vibration at the time, whoop, you can leave with them. Leave like with the comet. It's like, dude, everybody's
get the space cowboys.
Yeah, because the people who would still have the vibration by that time that comet around is so few people that love to hold on to the guns and still love to play World of Warcraft or something, People are still into that on the planet. Be like, you were the guys who held out for us. You held on to that vibration because you knew it was a great ship to ride, and you're going to get on that world where it's a real thing. It's like you live it out as much as you want, safely as much you want, as much pain as you want. You got to have pain inhibitors. It's like, doesn't matter, You take it exactly the level of volume you wish to enjoy it. It's like paintball, and you decide how much armor you have, So.
What about the Time Corps? What are they doing?
What are they doing? They're basically.
You Brad was talking about.
Oh yes, I will tell you what they're doing.
Yes, please.
Okay, the Time Corps are writing down all the different tickets you can take. You've got tickets to all sorts of places, different groups of people to meet. The Time Corps is arranging like a ticket to different events for people. And vibrationally, they deliver these tickets etherically in some way. Basically, say, oh, you've been dreaming of meeting a Pleiadian. You've been dreaming of meeting a Grey. You've been dreaming of this. And you want to? All right, we're going to slip this ticket in. You're on your way there. You're going to get there. It's going to happen for you. And so literally, those who are focused in all these special ways of like how they wished it could be, like meeting extraterrestrial races, Star Trek, whatever, that basically signs them all up. They're all in our solar system. They're not outside the solar system. Most of them are here. The people that want to take you to the side of the galaxy is just like Star Trek are here. The group of people that want to take you to the part of the galaxy looks just like Star Wars is here. They're here to take you. You could be a geek. You don't have to be an alien. You could just be a geek, and you go off to Geek World. It's crazy. Like the super space ninja bunnies, you know, that some people have some sort of fetish over, they show up somehow when it's time. You know, it's like, what the heck? There's no schedule. Everybody's, you know, feeling like their people are ready. And when they feel that they're ready, they call that the harvest. They say, you want to come? You want to stay? You want to invite us over for dinner? What do you want to do? You know? And maybe we hang out. Let's do it. We'll say, tell you what, we'll come live with you for a month. And then after a month, we all go to our house. Off the planet. It could be anything like this. Doesn't mean like, hey, oh shoot, I don't have, don't have my chapstick or something. Can I actually go right now? Yeah, we could take our time. As it feels good for you. We could take our time with this. But it's the ultimate harvesting because people are quite alien here. If you haven't figured out, ever since the hippies, you got a very large range of personalities. Right. Very, very large, and which is excellent. And non-exclusive either. You know?
And what's the Time Corps made of? Who are they? What are they?
Okay, so the Time Corps are ascended humans. They're just like Buddha-like people who basically said, that's it, I'm leaving my body, but I have to have a human body, so have somebody taking care of my body. That's it. They have a human body being taken care of by like their wife or something like that, but they get to do all the work out of body. Because they can connect and talk with people and say, micromanage the exchange of people leaving the planet, who are ready to leave the planet pretty soon. So like the more obvious ones that would want to leave sooner, right? The one that have a greater demand for that. And it's not like they have to be taken, mind you. The other thing is that some of those people from up there, like Pleiadians for instance, they want to meet and hang out with some humans and be around them. Right. It's almost like they would like to be here. Like, you guys are cool. I like being with you. You know, if you're not leaving the planet, we'd like to hang out with you. It might be the other way around. Like, can we come and stay with you? Almost equal number of people going and coming down. Like,
sure. Cultural exchange.
It's basically, yeah, let me take your place. Let me take your place. Like, literally, like, yeah, you go, I stay, boom. My family stays on there, and you stay with my family, just straightforward, like some sort of television show, just move around the actors.
It's like the ultimate Airbnb, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, you basically switch places with a Pleiadian and you still get to be you. Of course. It's perfect, isn't it? No.
It's cool.
But it's really, it's going to take years, mind you. I mean, we between all of us, all we know, we're not the 60 to 70-year-old hippie that's way more ready to go than we are, right? To the people who are showing up first. But I pretty much, we're not going to notice the first people gone. I think that happens in September. So when we start noticing people gone, or like are completely different personalities, like, what? They did a 180? Oh, you got replaced. You left. you didn't completely come in totally ready for this assignment. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were out of place. You know,
Yeah,
so fine. You're not my old friend. You're just, you know, a Pleiadian equivalent of him or something like that. You know, embodying the same shaped body. And then when the illusion drops, you're like, yeah, this is what I really look like. Sorry, you know, I've been an alien Pleiadian for the last 5 years. You know, that sort of thing. You're like, what? Yeah, didn't you notice when I sort of freaked out and I had that cold and I got really sick and like I couldn't talk with you for like a month even though we talk every day? You know, remember that? Yeah, that was me readjusting to my new like having to be this person. You
it's
know?
funny because you know how I had never seen an X-File until this reboot that started, you know, and so I've been binge watching all the X-Files.
Oh yeah, binge watching.
Well, binge watching, but I just watched one yesterday, or was it yesterday or this morning? But on the X-Files, that they did that. That's Mulder switched bodies with this guy because of a rip in space time.
Yeah.
Over at Area 51, and that was happening more and more. So that's kind of what you're talking about. They just switched. Yes.
Yeah, but it's physical, right?
Yeah.
There's you know, you go up a ramp and they come down a ramp.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Yeah, and
you know, and you get information about whatever you want to know where you're going. Like before you leave, you get the tip off. This is what's coming for you. You know, get it. You know, read it in the mail. Read it in the signs. Align to it. You'll know exactly what you're looking for in a family up there, and that family will eventually say, "Well, we psychically read all your answers, whether you wrote us back or not, and we know that we're a pretty good fit for all the criteria you're looking for. We're your perfect date, you know, that sort of thing, and we have somebody on our end that's the perfect date for your old life, you know." And everybody gets the notice. The parents, parents know, yep, this isn't my kid, but this is a kid trying to be like my kid. Then you say, did she ever tell you that you have to do all the dishes? Because she has to do all the dishes, even though maybe she didn't before. Like, you have to do all the dishes. You know, like, see if they can even play the game of, you know, tricking the child or the individual or the adult into like, wait a second, you know, whatever. But if it comes with all it needs is a little bit of extra makeup, you know, so that you can still go to your work office where everyone has already tons of makeup, you could probably play it off. You could probably play it off with how much you study up or whatever. You can take
exactly. Or the person that has to do the dishes, well, the replicator, you just put the dish in the replicator and it dissolves. Hey, I didn't have to do the dishes up on the ship. Where's my replicator, damn it?
Yeah, but, you know, some people, they might be like, on this assignment, I've got 6 months to be in vibration with a human. I'm going to watch their television. I'm going to watch their video games. I'm going to watch their entertainment. And boy, that's like heavy training, right? Because it's like, oh, there's so much discomfort in that. Blah, 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 blah. You know, it's all these painful experiences. It's like, how can that be entertainment, for crying out loud, you know? So much pain in those things. Like, oh, you come to respect it, you know? It's kind of like, I've watched enough wrestling. I could get into wrestling. Like, that was the dumbest looking thing I ever saw before. But I got into wrestling. And watch enough wrestling, I can respect it. I can empathize. I can be a part of the other. Not dead. That's their training. They're doing that. They're doing that right now, right? They already have areas, you know. I want to trade places with a Star Wars geek or a Star Trek-y geek. I want to trade places with him and let his friends try to figure out if they're having a psychological breakdown or not with him treating it out. But I'll try to pretend I'm him. It's like the great play. All you need to do is act one way, because when you go back, they know you're not the person. Okay?
Right.
They know you can't take their place, that you don't look like him at all, because they could do some surgeries on the people that take your place down here. Like, some of them have that technology to do, like, you know, anatomical, you know, shifting. You know, change your voice. You won't even know. It's like, it is a fake. Yes, it is something crazy out of, like, Blade Runner. But it is still the real deal that, you know, things are moving on, you know? Your friend was moving on. I'm staying here because you do want things to be crummy in this environment, and I want to explore those crummy things and maybe make it better or something in my own way. Ways that my predecessor wasn't going to do, you know? Like, maybe my predecessor didn't have, you know, the balls to stand up to you guys and say, you know what, you guys got to get over gays and bis and all that sort of thing. You know, and that's what it takes. Funny how it has the synergy of, like, meshing and switching places. Now, some
Sure.
people, that's not going to happen. Some people, they'll just be like, let's just go. Let's just get out of here. You know, you have nobody you care to influence here. You have no ties to society. Nobody knows who you are. It's as good as just, replacing a tree in your woods. Like, you have no influence on everything. We have nothing to exchange, right? Then you just leave. You're just like, oh, we got a whole bunch of people who are hippies too. Just drop in the hippie Pleiadians. They don't need invitations. They already are freaking hippies. And all the ones that want to leave and want to go to higher experiences, they'll all be contacted. Like, oh, hey, you want to go to space? Boom.
Mm-hmm.
How it happens.
I want to travel. I want to see space again. And
Yeah.
Some people on the planet have awakened and they have their ET memories of who they were as ETs, and they just want that back.
I have several of them, and every time I go hang out with the Pleiadians, they know I rejuvenate to the Pleiadian nature of myself. Like, I turn more Pleiadian. Like, they're watching my DNA ticker going. Like, the longer I spend there, the more I'm like, Pleiadian is the best possible vibration I can be thinking of, right? They just know I'm transferring. Like, don't have him back for a couple months. Like, don't let him in. He gets too excited. He gets too excited.
Yeah.
So I take like doses of Pleiadian insulin or something like that, and I hold a place here from time to time, and every once in a while, like today, I get to see what has been behind the scenes. And I knew that Elena had her own information, so I feel like it's kind of like a 1-2, sort of like support for what's coming in September, starting in September. I think it goes years, really. So.
Oh yeah.
But we'll see evidence. We'll get confidence. We'll know, and then when we have just enough to believe that we know it is occurring, like we see just enough, like which hippies are gone, It's that sort of thing. You figure out, like, oh, it is true. All I gotta do is say, who do I want to be with? Who do I want to be with? Who do I want to be with? Who are the ETs I want to be with? Do I want to be with Klingons? As crazy that might sound, some people are into it. They cosplay at Star Trek Con every year as a Klingon. They want to be with a Klingon, whatever. The Klingon will get the message wherever they are in the universe or multiverse or interdimensional, whatever, and the real Klingons will show up, for crying out loud. Or something good enough. Like, you're not Klingons? Right. Yeah, but we do everything Klingons do. Okay, you're good enough. Okay, we'll go with you. The criteria is in the blueprint of your desires, of the signals you set out.
Exactly, and there's a lot of human starseeds who are ET inbound. They came here to experience some Earth experiences, and now their mission is over. They want to go home. So, like, I'm an evolving ET. My blueprint is coming back. Who's my star family? Dial. I want to go back home. Pick me up now. Well, okay, I'm done.
Well, the thing is this has actually already occurred, you see. Okay? Where the ETs are planted into the Earth here on Earth, right? They basically send all these loving desires towards the hippies, Pleiadian-wise. They get them to believe in peace, love, and joy, not war, okay? Right. And they get them into that, and then they get to start making babies that say, this is the most beautiful thing that my parents can think of right now, and I'm going to grow up knowing that that's my true purpose, is to return that vibration. Almost like I was like, I'm a growth from that period of time that suggested peace, love, and joy is exactly what you need right now. When you follow exactly what you need right now, you know exactly who you're inviting, you know exactly what you can potentialize, because you believe in all your thoughts. You believe in your ability to conceive of a thought, and it actually may be true at this point, right? Because you go through, you figure out law of attraction, you figure out your power of your thoughts and the quantum and all this, and you sort that out for yourself. But it's at that level. And some people, they prefer surprises. So they don't know when it's going to show up. They actually prefer the surprise. Like, hey, guess who's at the door, honey? That kind of surprise. But it's like, what?
Lucy, I'm home.
Yeah. They came to the door and they didn't know what a doorbell was or what a knocker was. So they just stood there and waited. The neighbors called us and said, there's some creeps in front of your door. I think they want to come in. So you go to the door. Who are you? Oh, we want to talk to you. We're from outer space. You know?
We have slightly different skin color, and the police
Yeah.
haven't picked us up yet because
They come at nighttime.
vibrationally, we repel the police, and they can't pick us up.
Yeah.
Our vibration is so high
Yeah.
that no projectile, no weapon can touch us. We just deflect it, and we still knock at your door.
Or
and, hey,
it'll cause
here.
their aim to be off, quite literally.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing. I mean, we're going to see some pretty wild stuff going down the pipeline, literally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this year for certain.
But we're still going to see a lot this year, though.
If you want to see an alien, okay?
Yeah.
Of any sort, pick your one that you
well,
love.
I'm already looking at 2 right now. So.
You can. And people are basically getting like photobombed by Pleiadian energy, which is kind of like their truer source, like, you know, their higher self through the higher self. They're basically getting doses of waking up, whether they just get loved by someone who's like a hippie, or they just know that they're gravitating the first time they hear reggae or something, and they find those alignments, and they'll come to you. And this has already happened because people hear the star seeds. Again, we did it through our parents. We didn't physically show up here at the age of 6, but you know, it didn't need to. Now they are showing up. Now they are trading places and, you know, showing up where they fit in. It's almost like they don't care that they might screw everything up. They're hoping they might do something to change this place. Because at first they'll come in, they'll probably pick fairly feeble, like a hippie trying to change politics is not going to have a great impact on politics. So in the bigger picture, politicians don't care, you know? Like, so let the hippie in. He's never stopped politics before. Fine, we don't care. Anybody who can change politics, you're on a longer waiting list before you can come here. That sort of thing. Right? It's not even necessarily the government's talking about this, but the SSP, okay, and the core, we'll call them, they're all about managing this massive in and off the planet. It's like there's a giant outer airport communications grid that needs to be set up. People just can't come in. It's like a larger version of air traffic control. You can appreciate this, Dom, because he was an air traffic controller. It's like an outer space version of it, like in the outer orbit of the satellites and whatnot. Like, who's coming in? You got an appointment. You got 3 hours. You got to be out of there in 3 hours. That's your, you know, that's like at the border, right? You go across the border from Canada to America. Say, how long you staying? Okay, we're planning on you staying on that long, so our resources are going to be taxed if you start, you know, asking to stay longer, right? That's it. It's just a massive airport.
And it's a good that the airport is there, so those Draco reptilians can't come and go as they please.
Yeah, they said they couldn't set this up because they would have destroyed this. They would have just shown up and screwed up the show all over the place. If they could have shown up and shot at anything, the reputation of the entire connection between humans and extraterrestrials would drop like overnight.
Right.
So there had to be absolutely no danger to humans leaving. Or vulnerable of, you know, ships that aren't like have weaponry and stuff like that. They're just like colony-like ships. They're just like giant floating malls, essentially. You know, they don't have any weapons. They're not ready to fight. It's like that movie WALL-E. You seen that giant ship in WALL-E? It's like nobody's got any capability to do anything. It's fine. Some of those ships are showing up, and the lazy people can go join them. The lazy people want to be on their couch. You could do that, but it needs to be safe. They just couldn't be attacked. Right? So that's why it's basically all weapons are done. And yes, nuclear missiles, you're never going to have a nuclear missile go off again. You're not even going to have another reactor go off again. That is side Fukushima is the last one they let slide by. They're causing disclosure to the whole planet if they have to fix that plant. But you know what it is? This ET Connections is a personal thing. It's family to family, basically. Not person to person, but family to family. So the alignment of your family matters, not just the one kid who believes in ET. You know, it's your whole family. It's the balance of your whole family if it's enough. If it's 3 out of 4, then you need evidence. Well, then you'll see evidence. And then the fourth one's convinced. Okay, you know. So
And
Mhm.
there's a lot of ETs out there, billions of them.
Yeah,
There's
no
so many.
shortage. You're not running out of the good ones by not catching the first couple people leaving. You know what I'm saying? It's not like,
Yeah, exactly.
oh, those must be the best ones. They're super hippies. Oh, I'd love to. Doesn't mean you can't reunite with them. Once you're off planet, you can shape your career plan, you know, or not career plan, but your destiny. You can say, yeah, hey, you know, you guys are great, you know, but I want to go over here. I saw some things over here, and you're like, yeah, you got to do what you got to do, you know. And you know, it's nice. It's like basically living in families, like not hostels, but like, yeah, you know, bed and breakfasts basically, of a sort, you know, and you know, checking out what's out there. So.
And you also got your Agartha network within Inner
Yeah.
Earth, where you could do cultural exchange. So you don't have to go off planet to see an advanced civilization. You
Not
can
even,
do a
right.
cultural exchange.
Yeah, and
with
there is
them.
ways to go off planet, mind you, also that doesn't involve getting in a ship. It's just a teleporter type of thing. It's just like a portal, you know, like in the movie, whatever. What's that one? Where they go into a pyramid in the desert.
Tomorrowland?
No, not
Stargate.
Tomorrowland. With Kurt Russell. Stargate. Just like the Stargate. Like movie Stargate. It's just like a watery, reflective surface that you just walk through and then you get to another place. So, you know, it basically starts to be a lot easier. And I'm being told the reason why this is happening is because there's a calm down in the political system. As in the political system has a whole lot less confidence in the people, right? People are really so very mistrustful. It's basically they're trying to follow the energy that turns this current election into such an obvious circus that you should be paying admission to see more of the circus for the sake of it just being a circus, just being a really big drama for nothing but the idea of drama. If you want to go to the drama circus, you pay for that now. It's not free, you know? It's not even easy to get to. And then everybody's like, man, wow, I really don't care, you know? And they face realities that they're more in tune with, right?
Or the ufologists get stirred up. Oh my God, Hillary Clinton just talked about UFOs on the news. It made headlines.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton is, you know, making this a campaign platform. She's going to do it. But Hillary Clinton is just trying to get attention like all the others are doing.
Well, but she's also got John Podesta on her team. And John Podesta really wants the disclosure.
Yeah, John Podesta is actually the one that gave Hillary the possibility of having that conversation on the air.
Yes.
So John Podesta there's a lot of evidence showing, and he's the main campaign manager, and he's worked under so many presidents and everything like that. It's basically, he's like the #1 Democrat essentially. Like if that isn't in office or running for office, he's like the head of the Democratic Party almost.
And then there's Stephen Bassett, who's saying Obama is going to disclose quite a bit about extraterrestrials and UFOs. Obama's going to do it.
Right.
That's what we've been told, too.
Yeah, we've been told that as well. The other thing is they know that Obama wants to leave really, really quickly after he does his disclosure, like within days. So basically, he's not pulling the pin until he sees a business plan for what happens, like to all of the United States. Until he sees the business plan of what happens when a president is yanked and there's no more presidents. He says he wants to see the whole plan. Otherwise, I'm not doing it. I'm not saying it. I'm not calling disclosure. I'm not laying it all out. I'm going to be out there for 72 hours telling everybody everything that I'm learning. Basically, you're hearing it from the man himself. You're not hearing it from a secondary or from a scientist. You're hearing it from the president himself. He's basically telling you straight up and down all of it. It's not being interrupted. It's going for 3 days. It goes for like 2 hours over 3 days. He tells those. That's the most probable reality, as I'm being told at the moment. It's practically scripted already. Okay, and he just wants to know that the extraterrestrials are not going to screw things up around here,
right?
Or that the planet's going to be in good hands. Okay, Putin had to do that. He had to go up there and see if the Pleiadians were, or whoever they weren't Pleiadians actually in the case of Putin, but they were another benevolent group, and they said, seriously, what have you got to offer me and my people? Like, what kind of culture exchange do we have on our hands here amongst the Russian people? What have you got? What kind of Russian-like race can we have a beneficial relationship? If this whole thing is happening and everybody's got, like, you know, the scissor cutting in September, okay, I want to know. I want to know that this is going to happen. I'm already planning for it.
And isn't Putin a Pleiadian agent himself? Because the real Putin was off the board 10 years ago.
No, yes.
Taken out.
It's not the same flesh and blood. But he's, you know, he's got, like, I don't know what they do. Where they do DNA injections, so you eventually become like him almost in every way and have his memories and stuff. I don't know what it is. It's this thing that gets you to transform from being one person to another person. You can only do it with certain species. A lot of species can't do that. But yes, Pleiadian is probably very likely. I don't know that, and I'm not getting a confirmation on that, but it's very likely from my point of view that he's Pleiadian, because his, you know, Pleiadians at the time of around 10 years ago still had a lot of aggression. The ones that were coming here still had a lot of aggression, and so he would have matched one of them, like a great level of you know, certain tenaciousness, you know, not necessarily aggression, but very tenacious, like, I'm going to get things done. I'm going to go after, I don't care what people think, I'm going to get out of my way, very bullying their head in. And so there's, you know, the Pleiadians only really showed up here, I think, 12 years ago, right, in large numbers. And so that I believe that happened around that time. Something along the history books sort of leads towards saying that. They're not confirming it because we pulled a fast one. They didn't know they're going to ask this question, and they didn't come up with authority whether to tell us if we could actually confirm it with them. They didn't know we were going to say that. So I can talk about it from another point of view.
I always pull a fast one.
I
ask unexpected questions.
We've got a show on Tuesday, so they've got time.
We can come back. we can poke the bear more.
I noticed that Putin's been kissing puppies, and he has a few dogs of his own, and he let his ex-wife out of the asylum, and he's given her a divorce. So it's not the same Putin running around town. No, that's for sure.
Well, the thing is, the way that you see yourself and understand yourself manifests your physical body, right? Like, whatever you think of yourself, that's what you got for a body physically. Like, that's true, you know, going all the way. Whether you understand what you see of yourself or not, it gets into all sorts of vibrational subconscious things. It doesn't matter, right? It just is what it is. You're not about to change what you look like overnight. However, when you do get to go on a ship, you can subatomically change. You can quickly change to what you would like to feel like. So before you leave, they want you to have at least the blueprint of what you want to be, something you're definitely looking forward to being. And if you have at least the blueprint in your mind, then like, oh, we can make that happen. We can genetically code that into the tools that they use when you're now on a ship. And we can make it also so you can breathe our air and all this sort of thing, instead of having to be in certain air lockers in a ship with different air pressures. It sucks, but some people may have to do that. You know, before they acclimate, they change their atmosphere. They introduce nicotine into the atmosphere if that's what their homeworld's like, and you gotta like get used to it. So, yes, many different species and alien beings. It's really like, you know how we heard about Pleiadians and Andromedas. That's just because they're like the largest in popularity. All right, there's like enough Andromedans on hand to take a large number of people, right? The ones who are not into Andromedans for another 5-10 years, there's still Andromedans trickling in, you know, with slower ships or something. Who knows?
Right.
But it's as if everybody is standing outside Disneyland waiting to open. And the tape's just got to get cut.
Yeah.
You know?
Open that door and let Tomorrowland in. And let's get the show on the road, basically.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's Tomorrowland going both ways. It's basically opening up the border between Canada and U.S. Just, what? There's no border? Okay. That was just a nice little, you know, act of tradition, but we just wave as we go by. Now that's all we do. You know, things like this. It's like the same thing with regards to the ETs feeling comfortable with us not joining their lives and screwing up their entire culture too quickly, unless that's exactly what they're needing. You show up, You may be like, I'm the first person out. Do. Just show up in a world where they're so boring. They brought you in to spice things up because you're like, you're so boring. You're so boring. I can't stand it. We gotta spice things up. So you are like the total firecracker nutcase that goes around and changes society because like that's who we wanted. We need somebody like this in our society.
That's like Trened, who left his people because they're so boring, and he's now
that's
working
right. That's
with
right.
humans. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. As an extraterrestrial that we know of.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and like Elena was normal one day, and then she got switched, and now she's channeling her ET personality, and more of the ETs coming in and started saying things all over the place, and people at work go, "What the heck are you saying, woman?"
Yeah.
But hey, that's the new me. That's the improved version of me who wants to disclose, who wants the truth and the honesty. And I'm like, the more the merrier, the energy. I'm vibing the energy to do this.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, the energy just flows to other people to make it happen if it's meant to be. So it is. It's a good flow.
Awesome.
It's an honest flow.
Yeah.
Well, I do gotta wrap this up. I do have other appointments I need to get to, but thank you guys for joining today and having this conversation.
Thanks for inviting me. Yeah.
I'm sure we can keep
Thank
talking
you.
for a long time, and maybe sometime in the future we will again soon. So,
Yeah.
anybody who
Elena, it was great meeting you.
Anyone who's catching this video online, I'm Julien Wells, and my website is julienwells.com. And I have appointments that you can make to speak with me, and I have lots of other material on my YouTube channel, including sessions I've done with people and all sorts of interviews I've done. And Elena, would you like to share your information?
Yes, I'm Elena Kapulnik, and I have a beautiful, interesting website called Messages from a Star Traveler. It's about spirituality, it's about disclosure, UFOs, artwork, you name it, it's there. Also, my YouTube channel, Awakening Cosmic Reality Show, where this beautiful interview will be posted. It'll go up because my viewers love this kind of information, and I'm glad, Julien, that we reconnected in the show, and Dawn, that I got to meet you.
That was great, Elena.
Wanted to see all three of us together for this, and it just magically happened. It's awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
very welcome. It's been till the next time. Cheers, everyone.